Hello, hello, and welcome to Surrender, Soul Chats, and Guided Meditations, Season 2, 1111, which is all about new beginnings. I am your host, Frandasia Williams. Those who know my soul call me Frannie, and I'm the owner and founder of Guided Surrender, which is a lifestyle and wellness company that is based in releasing resistance, fear-based resistance that keeps us and blocks us from our manifestations, our spiritual, mental, and physical healing. So if you are on a healing journey, you're in the right place. This is a home for healing, and we are so happy to have you here. And this is my co-host, who I'll let introduce herself.
Hello, Queens. My name is Nicole Leboutheller. I am the founder of Female Makers. Please feel free to follow my journey for a collective of female entrepreneurs and micro female creators at femalemakers.org.
And enjoy this episode. Oh, I learned this about myself. You want to know my toxic trait?
Oh, yes. Please share. I don't even know what it is. I'm like so excited. I hope this stays in because I'm really excited because genuinely I don't know what it is.
You know, when people say I'll probably delete this later because this is my ultimate tell. This is my ultimate tell. And I'm heterosexual, so this is honestly, I don't even think we should have to say that anymore. I'm probably gonna cut that part out. I'm a person. We date who we date. So if you're a man and you think that I like you, I 100% don't. If I'm flirting with you and if I'm giving you attention, if I'm laughing with you, I don't like you.
Oh, please make this a TikTok later. I don't even want you to elaborate. I just want you to be like, if you're a man and you think I like you, I don't. And then that's it. It'll go viral, I'm telling you.
If I do like you, I'll ignore you. And I'll act like you don't even exist. I'll avoid you. Because to be completely honest, if I'm comfortable and I'm laughing and I'm flirting, I don't like you. When I like someone and I'm like, I'm tuned out.
That's so funny because I'm actually the complete opposite.
I bet you are.
Obviously, because we're that way. Nobody's learned by now. We're not the same, but so many things are similar. When I'm attracted to somebody, or even if it's platonic, I'm very, very bold, extremely comfortable in my humor. Humor is a big part of me. I'm very comfortable in that. I make that very clear off the bat what that is. So if I'm giving you that energy, either A, I intend to grow that friendship, like that's a friendship and I see you as like someone who's going to be a part of my circle, or I'm attracted to you. If I'm not talking to you and I'm not giving you attention, I genuinely don't care about you.
Yeah.
Like
that feels like the non-toxic way to handle.
That feels like the more healthier way. Got it.
That sounds like the healthy way to do it. The way that I do it is so Piscean in nature. Maybe it's more Aries. I don't know, but I don't.
Yeah, because the cusp.
I
definitely feel like it's genuinely more Aries, only because Pisces are usually so they give a little too much. Like, okay, we already read the cards, girl. There's no mystery there, you know?
Mm.
So it's a little bit like we got to filter. We got to add some mystery because your filtering skills are not quite up to par. But for me, it's definitely like I become very bold to the point where I'm very intuitive too. So I can usually tell when somebody likes me, whether it's platonic or not. Like I can usually read that quite well. Like I can tell if you want to kind of entertain. If I question it, I already know that it's not it, right? But if I can read it, then I become almost like the aggressor. If I want to entertain it. So I almost become very cocky because I know. If I'm not being cocky, it's because I can't read you because you're mysterious. Like if you're a mysterious person, I can't really read how cocky I can get away with things.
I'm the opposite. I love the mysterious ones. I get real cocky because the fact that you're so quiet and that I might make you a little nervous, and the fact that you aren't talking, and the fact that I'm about to take advantage of that. I am so
Just for me, especially when it comes to like like if you're a male, if you're like super mysterious and I can't read you, I'll probably become bored. Like
I
I
be
like attention. Let's be like very frank here, okay?
this is what's toxic about me because I become more intrigued.
Yeah, for me, well, maybe it's toxic for me. I become very unintrigued. I like attention.
Oh,
So if
baby.
you're not giving me just even
Mm,
if you're good at what you do, you give me just enough attention to keep me interested, right? But
I'm getting
if you're not feeding into the attention, it's a dub.
see.
You're out.
I'm getting turned on just thinking about it. Just the thought of like a man who just like sits back and not saying much, but he's very observant. He's locked in with me, but he's very quiet and very reserved. And I don't know why
Yeah,
that.
kind of like I'm kind of more of I like an appetizer. So you say something to where I'm just like, maybe it confuses me. Like I'm like, what's that? And but then maybe you don't feed into that. That would keep me interested enough to where I would entertain it a little bit longer. But if you're giving me nothing, like, boy, you're boring.
See, but I don't see it as nothing. I see it as like there's so much brewing. It's tension. Like it's like I don't know. For me, in those moments, it's like two different things are experienced because I'm that way. I am the type that's very mysterious, and if I like you, I'm not really saying much, and I'm just kind of absorbing you and taking
Oh,
you in.
not me. Mine is a show, girl. Listen, I am a Las Vegas show. You're gonna get smoke, okay? You're gonna get the lights. I'm pulling out all the really inappropriate jokes, and you're gonna like it. And I better get a chuckle, because if not, it's we're not vibing. We're not gonna vibe, okay? Mine is a show. It's a production, and you're blessed to be invited. You got a ticket, like you're blessed right now. So I need interaction, okay? I need the attention. I need you to indicate that my shit is funny. That's A. You don't get it? For the ones that get it. For the ones that don't. You don't get it, you're a don't. You're not, maybe you should stop by Franny's house. She'll get it. You don't get it here. And that's
Yeah,
mine's a whole
mine is
production.
the complete honest. Mine's the complete.
Yours sounds really fun. I'm not that person. I'm upset with that. I'm really intrigued by yours. I would be entertained to just kind of watch and observe in that way. But I just can't. I can't do it. I
Yeah,
can't do it. I'm too witty. Like I'm very witty. Like I love when I meet somebody who like likes to just give me something and they're like really quick with it and they're challenging me. Like don't come to me with wittiness, because if you come to me with wittiness, like you about to get Nicole Witty like 1000 and it's about to really, I love to just prove something. Like I love that kind of like back and forth. That's a turn on to me. Like the back and forth of like I say something that's like kind of witty with it and funny, and then you say something back. That's a turn on to me. Like, can you keep up with me? Like in the humorous way, like wittiness. If you can't, it's kind of like I'm bored. I'm a little bit bored. Like those things for me have to match up. Like the humorous wittiness has to match up for you. And for you, that kind of observant, like you don't know, but you know without saying
well, I
anything.
mean, it's because it's more for me. What it is, it's an intellect thing, and so the vibration is similar, but the action of it might look like we're doing nothing. Like we could look super still and just become. Ooh, sorry, I'm like spraying today.
Beauty blender.
I'm really lubric. I'm drinking a lot of fluids. So, but no, it's like we could be really tuned into each other, like locked in. But if you were looking at us, you would be like, what do they have? Like, what are they talking about? Like, it wouldn't look very because we're just hyper focused on each other in that moment. And it's almost like the room starts to get like dark. It's like no one's in there but us because
I love that.
we're so energetically, it's like the synergy of us just is so tapped in and we're just exchanging energy. And he's typically the guy who's quiet at the table and not saying much but taking it all in, who's there but doesn't
That
have
shit
to be.
stresses me out. Like I'm stressed by you talking. Like I'm interested because that's not my life. However, it's also like it's stressful. I'm like a little bit stressed by like what you're painting.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm also talking about myself though. So I think that's how it makes sense because,
Yeah.
I think what I'm saying is a mirror of what I am, which makes sense why I find it so attractive because I find that my energy is more magnetic in situations. Like I have this happen to me all the time where I've gone into situations and I'll say, Franny, you have one goal, just blend, just get through it. And those are the situations where I stand out the most and I don't want to. I
Oh,
just want to
see,
blend.
oh,
And so it's
I never knew that. I never really clicked that when I for you, but it makes sense because to me, even though you are so slower to speak, really quick to listen, really mysterious in that way, I don't see you that way.
yeah.
But also we have a different relationship. To me, you not that this is dull, but you seem so loud to me and so vibrant to me, that I don't see that, right? But I have like a different view. I have different lenses. My lens has changed multiple times since we've interacted with each other. And for me, um, I'm extremely like loud and vibrant, and I love like putting my words in almost to the point where sometimes I can overstep people.
Mm.
So where I have to learn to when the filters kind of take into place so that there's enough room for everybody and it's not just Nicole's show.
Yeah. And we're also, male gaze. The male gaze is a little different. Like if I was seeing you interact with a male, I would probably be shocked. I'd be like, oh my God, like who is this person? I might be like, what is happening right now? And just like, if that's the same opposite for me, you'll see me interacting with someone, you'll be like, do you like him? Is everything like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. Like you'll be like, what is happening right now? And
Oh,
it's
I would be so intrigued. I would love to just be in the same restaurant.
just be a fly
I
on the
don't even need to
wall.
get the non-conversation happening. I just want to see the energy.
But it also, I will say, it's probably why dating has been so slow to fill for me, and why I'm someone who I think a lot of men have expressed to me like they didn't feel like I liked them. Those are the ones I really liked. They didn't know I liked them.
Oh,
Um,
coming from somebody who's dealt with somebody on the same cusp, yeah, I can understand that because it's so you live up here so much,
yeah, it's such
and
an intellect.
sometimes it feels like, are you there? Like, are
Yeah.
we? What's happening? What's happening there? Are we here together?
And I don't know that I don't know you're not experiencing what I'm experiencing. Like I could be so intrigued and so into you and having such an in-depth conversation. You're somewhere like, yeah, so do you think that was interesting? And I'm like, yeah, wildly. And you're like,
Oh, you know what? You know what drives me crazy about that? Like cuss, that specific cuss is that right there is yeah. I'm so intrigued. There's no like how do I explain it. I remember specifically this is a story. One time with I was dating somebody and this person was that cusp and uh I had bought this gift for him for Christmas and he had no idea about it from out of the whole time we had ever dated, which we dated for a long time. This was the only time I had ever seen him excited. Like it was like gave him this gift. He had no idea. He really wanted it. I ended up getting it, surprised him. He opened it and he was like joyous and like the energy was high and his voice got louder and it was everything that I naturally do when I get like I get anything. I get a candy bar. A candy bar. Like, it's like I get excited over a candy bar, you know, and his energy was that. And I remember thinking, like, oh, I'm so proud. He's so excited. He was so surprised. And I had to train myself mentally to be like, just because he doesn't act that way, that doesn't mean that he's not excited or surprised. It's just, that just kind of triggered a higher emotion. And I remember thinking like in the beginning, like, what's wrong? Like, what's the matter? because I'm very used to like a different vibration.
Yeah.
My mom was very like low vibration. She's a Capricorn. She's always been kind of like more mellow, very, very strong. Like that's what I consider my mom, like this rock that's just like very strong, is never going to waver. My dad, who's an Aquarius, which doesn't make sense because he doesn't act like one. He is like extremely vibrant, like more vibrant than me. He gets excited about like the sun, like it's like, irritating. And it's just like his level of excitement is just like all the time. And when I would first meet people when I was in my early 20s, I didn't understand why these people were like not excited. Like, why are you not excited? Why do you not like light up every 2 seconds? And it's like, just because that's not what they're, showing or physically like exuding, it doesn't mean that they're not. It's just like they don't need to be on like, on level 75 every time something happens. I need to be that though.
Yeah.
Like I'm that, and I've accepted that, and that's just the part of who I am that makes me great, which is why the part of who you are makes you so great.
Yeah. And I will have those spurts of energy that you're talking about. It was so funny, we were talking about this earlier. It's like I was feeling all these things at the wrong time. It's like when no one else is excited, when no one else is in the mood, I'm over here like have my own little party. And then at a party, I'm like just chilling, like just so reserved. And I'm talking like if we were to go out on a social setting, whereas like you expect me to be so talkative and so vibrant, I'm the exact opposite. I'm very reserved. I just kind of listen, just kind of go with it. And then I'll go home and talk to myself and like
I love it. I love it.
Make it and come alive. So I think that's why dating has been the trial that it has been for me, because I'm one of those people who really warms up differently. Like, for instance, it's like almost like a frozen dessert situation that once you put it in the oven and it comes alive and it's like warm, you can smell it. It's a completely different vibe. And it takes me a while to warm up. Whereas I think some people, they come warm, like extroverted people come warm. I'm the type of person who comes and I'm not warm yet. And I might not get warm the whole time we're together. It really does take time for me. And I think the mysteriousness that comes in there and just that kind of underlying, like that observer, that I'm thinking about the situation, I'm observing and I'm also picking up on energy and habits and, but I think I'm attracted to the person who kind of hangs back. Like this is something that I notice when you have a man in the room. And this is something I started picking up on, started noticing, like when you think of a celeb, like a male celeb comes and all the females are like zoomed in, like, oh, he's here. Oh, that exhausts me. And so I would do the opposite. I'd leave the room. Or like if there was somebody coming in, everybody was like, oh, he's this or he's that or he's that. I wouldn't even talk to him. By the end of the night, that person's looking for me because I'm the one person who didn't talk to them. It's power. It's just a power move. And it's just taking your power back and being like, I'm not pouring my power into that pot because I'm energizing.
That's interesting. I never thought of it like that. When you made the example of the dessert, it made me think about myself, and I'm hot. I come in and it's like it's time to eat. Okay. However, when I do get more comfortable, I kind of falter into that mysteriousness where I don't feel the need to entertain you or talk, or, I can be comfortable where we're just here and it's silent and we can both be quiet for a moment and just enjoy each other's energy. When I get really, really comfortable, when I get so comfortable, it's the quietness comes in, and I'm very, very opposite of what I come to the table as, because I know we don't need to constantly be entertained or any of those things. And it becomes almost an intimacy thing for me. Mm-hmm. I crave that level of intimacy in a non-physical way with my partner, where we can be in the same space and it's so very few words are spoken, and very much so. It's very attractive. But for me, that's the comfort for me, is that comfort versus the opposite for you. So I feel more comfortable
Yeah.
in that way.
It's definitely the opposite. If I am being weird and annoying, I am madly in love with you.
Oh, she must be in love with me then.
100%.
Absolutely in love with me.
If I'm quirky and silly and like talkative, I'm madly in love with you. No doubt.
Yeah, see, for me, I feel like if I can actually sit down and like I can be quiet and I don't need to communicate things with you, and I don't need to, or not even communicate, I don't need to say anything. I don't need to entertain you. I don't need to be goofy. I can just be quiet and it's fine. And it's not like, oh, what's wrong? What's the matter? It's literally unspoken. You know that I'm good. We're good.
Yeah.
Then I know that I'm in a really comfortable space.
Yeah. And if you're in a relationship with me, you will be so grateful to hear me talk, because it starts off.
Honestly, it's really funny. It's actually so funny when she gets to these
Yeah.
places. Like you really see these parts of her personality that are just really hilarious. And I remember the first couple times she showed me, I was just so grateful. I really was so grateful. I was just like, oh, are you being like goofy? Are you being like silly? Are you being just all these parts that you don't really get to see? So it's like, it's kind of like unwrapping, like,
Yeah.
you're unwrapping another layer.
And I am completely annoyed by those presents where they put it in, like, it's like a small gift and they put it in 10 million big boxes. Those gifts annoy me so endless. Don't ever do that to me. That is so annoying. But I'm that.
Oh, me, I love that shit.
I bet you do.
Put my shit in a box, in another box, in another box.
And then they're like, here's a clue. The rest of your gift is under the tree. I hate it. Oh,
I'm going to manifest it right now, okay? At some point, I'm going to meet somebody that is going to set up a scavenger hunt for me. And I'm going to be very grateful for it.
I love that for you. I don't do that for me. If you're watching this and you are in if you want to be a future option, don't do that. I love surprises and things, but I don't want to go on a scavenger hunt. That does not.
Nicole loves a surprise. Surprise it up. Make it more grand. Make it extravagant.
I love a surprise. Do not
be irritating about it.
Don't say
Make it and make it so that I'm semi-irritated. So when you do surprise me, I'm frustrated because I don't feel like doing it. Maybe also have like an iced coffee available so that I have like motivation to like want to do it.
And see, I'm already at home.
But then at the end, I'm going to be very excited. But also make sure like whatever the end of the scavenger hunt is, like it's worth it. Don't just give me like a gift card to Macy's. Like,
no. And if you do that to me, you'll be waiting at the end by yourself, because I'm going home halfway through. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I love that you love that though. And whoever talks to me about you in the future, I'm going to be like, that's how you should propose. Like, that's how you should say something really special to her, is give her a scavenger.
Yeah, but okay. So if you're going to propose though, like let's be a little bit more thorough, because the angels are listening, guides, the universe. Okay. I want you to do a scavenger hunt.
This is a good one. I have a question.
Okay.
Do you prefer public proposals or private proposals?
Private. That's literally what I was just going to say. So if you're going to do a scavenger hunt, like all of that can be public. That's great. At the end though, do not let me be this girl at the mall and you're in the yard with the balloons and the marry me thing. I don't want that. Okay. First of all, I don't want strangers knowing I'm getting proposed to. I also don't really want my family nor your family there. No. That's not for me. That's one thing me and Frannie can agree on. I would truly enjoy a very intimate, something you thought about. It doesn't have to be grand. I'm talking about just a scavenger hunt being grand, because I feel like that shit would be fun. But proposal wise, like very intimate.
But what if the final activity is like very intimate and it leads you to like a private?
Yeah, see, now that I can do. Also, please don't do the we're going away on the weekend and then you have the whole entire hotel decorated. Like, and when I say these things, if that was your proposal, love that.
That is beautiful.
For me, I'm not proposed to yet, so I'm doing my wish list. Okay?
Options.
My wish list is, don't do it publicly. Please don't do it in a hotel room. I don't want the marry me letters. I don't want any of that. Okay. I don't want that shit. Okay. What I would like is almost like not even any of that. I would like to not even know. Like as I'm walking up
I want to
somewhere,
know.
not even like a
Yeah.
before you even ask, I know what it is. I want to be completely surprised.
Same.
I want it to be a genuine conversation where maybe I just think we're having a deep conversation, and then you just propose to me. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple. Wrap it in a bow. Done.
Yeah. And I have to just note that I completely agree with that. The only other layer I'll add on is I am incredibly intuitive. So I understand that it's going to be a little bit more effort for my person because I have an inability not to know. So I have to be distracted. I have to be like busy. You're just going to really, that's why I'm going for the mysterious intellect. Well, I don't know what the hell he's doing anyway. So not mysterious intellect, like has a whole
Also,
other
for
family.
those that are listening, that are men, please, like if you don't do anything, and I feel like this is a universal, okay, it's a very universal. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone comment or message me if that's not you. Please do us the justice of reminding us of a nail appointment, setting up a nail appointment, making sure our nail, like I absolutely am not taking pictures when I'm in between nail sets. Like even if it's just a manicure, I don't want shitty nails in my picture. That's it. That's all.
I don't see myself taking pictures, so I don't care.
Oh, okay. So if you don't see yourself taking that, if you do, if she's the girl that likes the pictures and wants them, get her nails done, please.
I'm the type that gets engaged and nobody will know. I'll get married, nobody will know. I'll have a baby, nobody will know.
Oh, my shit's gonna be Princess Diana.
I love that.
No, I'm gonna be on live. Like he just finished, and we're past our moment. And I'm like,
I love it, and I'm the one. I'm in your wedding, possibly pregnant. Nobody's gonna know. Like nobody's gonna know. I'm not. I wouldn't share a single thing. And now I'd share it privately with my family and people, but I don't see myself. I wouldn't have no desire to share any of my life with him.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't feel the same inclination, but I love that for you. And I will be there, girl. I will be your photographer, your filmographer.
I might even be that person that like totally like, I would love the idea of like Kylie Jennering the shit out of this for like nobody knows, but then they know what I want them to know. But in a grand way. So it's just like, maybe I keep it private and only share with like my people, but then publicly do it in a grand way. Like brand it. How can I brand it? I would probably think of some way to brand it to benefit my business.
I can see that. I can see doing something.
Yeah, that's like more my road.
What I would probably do is have it all happen. I'd get married, I'd get engaged, get married, and have a baby.
Oh, those people are so interesting to me. Like when you have those people and you look and you're like, when did she get married? Yeah. Like, and it's not even like she did a post about it. It's just like, maybe it's like a picture and you can kind of see the ring. You're like, is she married? I'm not sure if she's married. Is that her child? Like, I get so intrigued by that.
I'll be like 3 years old when I share that I was pregnant for a period of time.
Mine becomes very like in a brand package way.
I love
like I brand it.
I would slowly drip it out, but it wouldn't. None of the things that I do would happen in the actual time that they occurred in my life. It would happen at least a year difference.
Oh, I love that. A part of me is just like, I want to be that. The other part of me is like, I started accepting these parts of me. This is the greatness of what I feel this main character energy is that I'm tapping into this year. I've already claimed it, so I mean it's already happening. But is for a long time I'd always be like very envious of like maybe people like Frannie or like some like just anything that I wasn't. And over time I would kind of try to like force that, like maybe withhold when I didn't want to, and not withhold from public, but withhold from friends. Because you know, there is some kind of pros and cons when it comes to those kinds of relationships. But now I'm in this place in my life where like, if you are part of my circle and you're a very close part of it, you're an embedded part. You know that you're an embedded part. I don't need to tell people who they are and aren't. You know what role you play in my life. I don't want to withhold. I don't want to. I want I don't like going days without you knowing what that plan is or what those thoughts are when it comes to big changes or pivots in my life. I don't like that. A part of that, but one thing I did have to learn the difference is like sharing to just share because I want you to just know versus sharing and I want your opinion because now I'm going to consider it.
Yeah.
That's something that I did have to learn. So when I share now, I know that I'm open and receptive to your opinion, but whatever you say back to me, I don't need to pick it off the table if I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's the difference for me is if I'm sharing with you, you should be very blessed that I'm, opening it up and I'm sharing that part with you. And you should know that you're an embedded person in my life. 2, most of the time when I'm sharing, it's not because I want you to make the decision or really tell me what you think. I'm really sharing because I just want to tell you. And it's my way of being like, here's the newsletter, right? Here's the updated newsletter. I don't, and by no means do I mean this in a mean way, but I don't really give a crap what you think. I'm friends with you because I'm friends with you, or you're in my life because you're in my life. I'm just telling you because that's me showing you that I value our friendship by updating you about what's happening. If I'm not updating you, you probably aren't an embedded person, A.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the answer to that, is that you're probably just not somebody that I feel needs to know. I'm telling you because I'm telling you, not because I'm searching for validation in the decisions I made. Most of the time when I do share it, I've already talked through whatever that is multiple times with myself. And I've already probably made a decision, even if I haven't made that clear that that's what the decision is.
Right.
And that's just what that is.
Right.
So, and by no means when I do get feedback, like, well, I think you should do this, because I do get that. Or I think it'd be best if you did this, or, this is my thoughts on this, right? I don't take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
I know that most of those times those feedback is a protection for me, right? What they think would be best for me. And I love that because it shows that I'm extremely loved. But yeah, if I'm sharing parts of my life with you that regard decisions, it's definitely because you're somebody who I consider a part of my circle. I have a huge circle. There's like different layers. It's kind of like Earth. There's Earth, there's the crest, there's the core. There's these people that I'm sharing this with, their core. They're the absolute center of my entire universe for however long that lasts. And if I'm sharing that with you, it's because you're part of that core. If I'm not, maybe you're in my life, you're in my circle, but you're more of the crest, right? You're more of like an outer. Maybe it's more surface. Maybe it's more of an acquaintance. So for me, that's the intimate part of my life, is I can share a lot with a lot of people. And to maybe some people, it looks like I'm oversharing or I'm over distributing, but you don't really know what I'm sharing with my core unless you're a part of that.
Yeah.
So it's really a big part of something that I realized about myself. And I stopped trying to not be that person, because that's not what I wanted. I love the relationships I have with my core people. I love that I can be so comfortable and I can reach for support or access or an ear. And it's not, I became very strategic over the last 2 years with who was a part of that and who wasn't. Before, when I was younger, especially as a Pisces, you trust everybody. You think like, oh my God, that's not it. Obviously you learn as you get older, like
right,
who to trust and who don't to trust. But over the last 2 years, I was very methodical of who I kept extremely close to me and who I created more boundaries for, or who I just let go of. And a big part of that for me in showcasing as somebody that they're a big part of my life is sharing those aspects. That's how I show my love, is letting you in to parts of me that I would never obviously let anybody else see.
Yeah. It's beautiful, baby.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All righty. Well, this was fun.
This was fun. It's going to be a very fun episode.
It is. Let us know how you feel about, I loved your question. How do you want to, if you are single, and Nicole and I brought up the do's and don'ts for us. So do's and don'ts for proposals, and how are you when you like someone? What traits do you show? What traits do you show when you do not like someone? How do you shift? And I love how Nicole and I show up as opposites in these areas where we express ourselves completely differently. But we have very similar feelings about the same things, but how we express them is different. So the similar thing is we both like people. We just show them how we like them in different ways. So that's the example.
Oh, interesting. Every time we get on any topic, it's like so opposite, and I love it because I get just so intrigued by Franny's response. I'm just like, it's almost confusing to me because obviously you always think like I don't get it, right? Like, and it's so enjoyable for her. So it's really enjoyable to see. I just carry Franny in such a high regard. So like when I see her respond to things in such a different way, for me it feels so sophisticated, and that could also have to do with like the silence that she carries, right? And it's really interesting when you carry yourself and you think about how you like people or how people like you and how you interact with them, because it's also a reflection of how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
It's also a reflection of like, how do you feel that you carry yourself versus how you maybe see your best friend carry themselves, or your mom or your dad. Like what perception do you have? So it's so enjoyable to be on this journey with Frannie, and like as we talk about different subjects and organically how conversations kind of come up is like, I feel like every episode I learn more about myself, and like certain things trigger different conversations because we're still growing and we're still elevating, and there's just so many different layers to this beautiful thing that we live called life. And it's so nice to know that you can have support and love and all of that through somebody that doesn't do anything like you. doesn't have any kind of way of how they would do something. You give them a project, we're both going to have a different result at the end.
And I love that because it's like, it's not right and wrong. It's just what's effective for you and what's not effective for you. And I think as we become more open to that understanding in life, it's like the goal is that we're all living. How we live is our own personal journey. Like how you navigate living is your business, and it's not right or wrong. It's your path, and how we got here is shaped by our own experiences. And don't think it's lost on me. I've spent a lot of time evaluating how I show up. I had to be a better person. And with the work that I do now, how I show up is important. And as a performer, you're constantly put in situations where you have to be objective about how you show up. You have to evaluate how you show up. And I think over the past year, especially, of really tapping into my divine feminine and working on being more vulnerable and honest and open and allowing myself to be gentler and softer, I'm looking at my patterns and my habits. And I do think some of my mysterious habits have led to mysterious loves or mysterious experiences that weren't fruitful, because I attracted people who were withholding because I was withholding. So there's a piece of me now too it's like there's a way to still be reserved and mysterious and an observer without being emotionless and without hiding a dark energy. And so now I am working to show the sides of myself that are more vibrant and beautiful, and put myself on preheat in experiences where sometimes I want the oven off. I'm working on it. I admit I'm a work in progress, and the things that I don't love are also the things that are the pathways to the things that I desire. So I gotta get better at a few things. But this mysterious nature about me, I think, is inherited. Like I really do. I've been this way since I was a child. But yeah, if you know my weird, goofy side, you know my heart. And I think ultimately the victory of that is worth the wait. So until next time, we continued to uncover the layers. So thank you for joining Nicole and I for another episode of 1111. It's a beautiful experience to be able to share these conversations and this collective energy with you. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.